At the end of the liturgy today, we will have one of our strategic plan committee members come and speak to us about the things we are hoping to involve the entire community with. So I wanted to take this time where the homily typically goes after the gospel lesson to just say a few words. It's interesting, the contrast of these two men. The gospel lesson is a flashback of what happened before. You have Herod. This isn't the same Herod. This isn't the same King Herod who was the one, the maniacal King Herod who destroyed all the children 2 years and under at the birth of Christ. This Herod that we're talking about today in the gospel lesson is actually that Herod's son. And then you have St. John the Baptist. What a contrast. What a contrast, my friends. You have the one as a king. You have the other as a homeless man. You have Herod dressed in fine linen. And you have St. John the Baptist dressed in camel's hair. You have the king who feasted sumptuously every day. You have St. John the Baptist who could feed himself with whatever was available in the wilderness. But you have this man who just sought for truth. You had him speaking truth to power, and yet you had the king, or the one who wanted to consider himself a king. You had him who couldn't stand up to a teenage girl and an adulterous wife. What a contrast. This man speaking truth to power, the other, who is in power, can't stand up to his own family, his illegitimate family. I think the difference is the one, no matter how many advantages you have in life, if you are just living for yourself, if you are just living for your pleasure, then you have nothing solid to stand on, because all these things are fleeting. And if you put all your trust in these fleeting things, you will be defeated. Everything that goes against this pretty picture of yours will crumble, and you will be long-faced and sad countenance, negative. But St. John, who virtually had nothing of the worldly glories, stood for truth. He had a mission. He had a purpose. When you live with purpose, you think differently. The whole world can throw all kinds of things that are against you, but it doesn't matter to you, because what you're after is truth. And sometimes these things that happen to us accelerate to the thing we want, the truth. The goal of the pious and Orthodox Christian is abiding with Christ, union with Christ, to become like Christ. If that is your goal, then everything that happens, everything, good or bad, you think of it as, oh good, I'm achieving my goal. So I ask you to not just to live a life of ease and pleasure and, no, I don't sin. You know, people come to confession. No, I haven't done anything, Father. Oh, really? If your goal is to just live a nice, comfortable life and just, dabble in theology here and there and to, to have a nice little moral things, fine. Maybe you haven't sinned, if that's your goal. But if your goal is to achieve union with Christ, then practically everything you've done is not toward that goal. And when you're not doing things toward that goal, that's a sin. And so those people live a life of repentance because I am not behaving like a man who is in love with Christ. I'm behaving like a man who is in love with the world. Have a purpose. As an Orthodox Christian, you have a purpose. Your purpose, your goal, is to become united with Christ our God. Let us think on these things today.